Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Kyuuyaku Megami Tensei, or should I say, welcome to the final episode of Let's Play Kyuuyaku Megami Tensei. Folks, we had a lot of fun perusing through the dungeons of Kyuuyaku, but, all good things must come to an end, and that includes our little adventure here, so I say we go down to the first floor and continue our way down through the Infinity Palace, and I say we go ahead and do what we set out to do at the start of our journey, and kick Lucifer in the dick, to put it politely. That NPC from earlier disappeared. I'm assuming that Lucifer, one of his henchmen, must have, made him vanish or something like that for spilling the beans on the White Dragon Orb and telling us about that. Probably got killed off screen. At least that's my headcanon. But yeah, after you get the White Dragon Orb, there's not much else to do in the game. You basically can grind up all you want, get the party that you're satisfied with, and all you gotta do is go to the second part of Infinity, and you're basically just gonna go out and beat Lucifer. It's kind of interesting, too, how this area of the game still has, like, human-looking NPCs, like that guy who told us about the orb. I don't know, I guess they're kind of, like, in, like, cultist-looking robes, like, they kind of look like Satanists. Well, I don't know, I don't want to say that, because in the Megami Tensei universe, as many of you know, Satan and Lucifer are different entities, and they have opposing ideological beliefs, and to my knowledge, if I remember in the real world too, Satanism has little to nothing to do with spirituality. It's more of like a lifestyle and a philosophy that people adopt, and they kind of just view Satan as like a symbolic figure. I think Luciferians are actually the proper name for people that like do the devil worship stuff. It's been a while since I looked into it, but yeah. Feel free to say stuff about that in the comments below if you're, more immersed in that world than I am. Used to look into that stuff a lot when I was a kid, but I don't know. I kind of ran out of occultish type stuff to look out for and read about, I think, after a point. So, yeah. But yeah, I remember looking at Satanism stuff, like, way back when and kind of being like, yeah, this is this is kind of cool, and it's a cool ideology with some cool ideas, but also there's a lot of stuff that I kind of raised my eyebrows at and was kind of like, oh, really? You're going with that? So, I don't know. I guess that's the same with any sort of organized ideology like that. You kind of look at it and you're like, yeah, I jive with some of these ideas, but there's some questionable stuff that maybe you'll want to unpack and kind of think about how it actually works out, so that's how that goes. But yeah, you can really see we have a powerful party here. Can take on Asura now, no problem. You may remember we fought this thing earlier in our playthrough when we went to the second area of Bien, and we're doing stuff to get that Hino Kagetsuchi. Now that we actually have the Hino Kagetsuchi, and we have the most powerful demons in the game, you can see we're going to be making pretty quick work of this thing compared to the last time we fought it. Critical hits doing 320 damage, also, hot damn, that's some good stuff. Another cultist-looking man. So, I noticed that NPC when I was, right before I started recording, and I was like, I should probably look up what Bai Long is so I can explain the mythological significance of that NPC. Basically, according to the Megami Tensei wiki, Bai Long are one of the 5 dragons classified as king in Chinese lore. Bai Longs are the purest and most virtuous spirits among the kings. The White Dragon also represents the West and death, and once again, that source is the Megami Tensei wiki. So yeah, I guess we're using the power of death to defeat Lucifer, which is metal as fuck. Though I guess also, too, we are technically using the power of the West. So maybe we're just using the spirit of America to take down Lucifer. Got a shadow person here. I like this sprite a lot. It's like, very subtle and creepy, and just looks spooky. Pretty cool enemy design. Speaking of occult stuff, well, I guess it's not really occult stuff. Like, I think shadow people is more like a paranormal type thing. That's a thing that, like, is in that paranormal sphere, right? Like, shadow people, I think I remember reading about that as a kid. Been a while since I looked at any of that stuff. I think mostly it's just like, well, like I said earlier, it's like I ran out of stuff to read about, but also, I think in part, some of it was just growing up Catholic and kind of being drawn to it because of, being a little bit of a rebel and not really being satisfied with the, like, Catholic faith I was raised up with, and the Catholic household stuff and all that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really believe in paranormal stuff. I was, like, more into that stuff when I was younger, and I'm not gonna lie, I like hearing a good ghost story every now and again, or listening to, like, unsolved mystery-style podcasts where sometimes they maybe touch on paranormal stuff, but I'm a very big Occam's razor person, and I don't much really care for supernatural explanations for weird phenomena. I have a cousin who swore that her house was, like, haunted when I was younger, and I'm not gonna lie, I did have a few weird experiences in that house, and also, like, sometimes the house would creak in ways that, for real, sounded like people were running upstairs, and it freaked the fuck out of us, but, like, I don't know. As an adult, I feel like there's probably reasonable explanations that don't involve ghosts for all that creepy stuff. There was a time I was babysitting my cousin in that house, and, like, the TV just started flickering on and off, and the volume was going up and down, and I'm sure that was just, like, a weird, like, actual technical issue with the TV, but at the time I was like, oh fuck, it's the ghost. So yeah, that was fun. This has been a scary story with Rosenbrand. I should probably be talking more about the game, but sometimes it's fun to go off on tangents. Though, to be honest, there's not much to talk about with this dungeon. You know, we're at a point that you reach in a lot of RPGs where we really just gotta do it by this point, right? We gotta climb 8 floors of this tower. We're basically fighting a bunch of enemies that we fought already, and we just gotta keep on keeping on and make our way all the way to the top to fight the final boss. We're in the home stretch here for real this time. Not much to worry about. I will say, I do have to give the developers credit. This, the final stretch of Infinity Palace here is actually not that hard to navigate, and I kind of appreciate the simplistic area design, because I think they kind of figured, like, you want to get this done and over with. You know, we're not gonna stress you out too much with the final section of this dungeon. We just want you to, you know, make sure you're prepared, and we're gonna test you a little bit along the way, but it's not that hard to make your way through. You're not going to find yourself getting lost too often in the red section of Infinity Palace, so kind of appreciate that. As you can see, though, we're really running out of magnetite. We don't even have a full party, but, you know, that's kind of the cost you accrue when you're working with the most powerful demons in the game. Every step, we're just losing more and more magnetite. We're getting close, though. We only have a few more floors. Got to get to that 8th floor, and we're going to be right on our way to the final boss. I really like the look of the mist in this area too, especially considering in the Sea of Flames the fog tiles looked like complete shit. I really appreciate the creepy red blood mist vibe that the fog tiles here give off. It looks really neat in my opinion. It's also something too that I really appreciate, that the game has different palettes for the different areas and the fog tiles here. Like, they actually change over the course of the game. Keeps things more visually interesting. Like, look at that. It looks like the screen is, like, drenched in blood or, like, red Kool-Aid or something. It's cool. Must be taking a bit here to ponder my map, make sure I don't get lost. Not gonna eat my words after just explaining how easy it is to navigate this part of the dungeon. But yeah, it's really not that bad, especially compared to the blue part of Infinity, which can get a little perplexing. Almost have full vitality with Nakajima. I feel like in other playthroughs I usually end the game with more HP, but I could also just be remembering wrong. I could have sworn I was closer to like 700 max HP with Nakajima my last test playthrough, but who knows, I could just be imagining things. But yeah, we're more than well equipped to handle Lucifer. I mean, we got the most powerful demons in the game, mostly. We don't have the most powerful demon in the game, but don't really need it when you have friends like these, right? But dear God, yeah, we're gonna really run out of magnetite soon. Luckily, we don't have that much longer to go. And like I said, when you're done with the game, you don't really need to worry about the magnetite, you know? Like, it's not that bad of a thing to be running out at the final destination. See, that's what this really is like. It's like going on like a 5-day road trip, and then you reach your destination and you're out of gas, but it's like, hey, fuck it, we're here. And unlike real life, in a video game, when you complete it, you don't ever have to go back to it. You can just be like, okay, I'm done. Time to move on to the next RPG. I have never actually run out of gas in my experience. My almost decade of experience driving now. Well, I guess technically a decade if you include, like, being 15 and having your temps, but yeah. Got a weird fog mini-boss trap tile here. This 8th floor has a lot of trap tiles, so be careful about that. And also be very careful in this giant open space. A lot of the tiles on this part of the map are just holes, and they will bring you down to a lower level of the dungeon. So just what you're gonna want to do is just mimic my movements here, and you'll be safe. But you have to go through a pretty defined path. Like, you don't have to go tile by tile exactly, but you have little wiggle room before you just end up getting stuck and falling through a trap tile. It's very unfortunate. Kind of a trial by error final part here of the dungeon. Maybe a little frustrating if you're not using a map. And hell yeah, it's Beelzebub. Not quite the design I'm assuming many of you expected. Yeah, in the first Megami Tensei game, and in Kyuuyaku, they kept it the same. Beelzebub is literally just a fly, which is very inspired. You know, Beelzebub has a pretty cool design in the later games, but for the first game, nah, just a fly. I think it's pretty funny. It's also one of the most powerful encounters you can come across other than, you know, like a boss or something. Takes quite a few hits and can do some serious damage, but Beelzebub is no match for our party, so we're good. But yeah, you technically don't even need to fight Beelzebub. You can just skip past that place, but I figured might as well show it off, because, you know, Beelzebub is a fan-favorite demon, so why not show it off? And here we are. This is the path we took, in case you want to, you know, take a photo or something of this, this map screen, and use it to help you on your own journey. But yeah, we are right here at Death's Door. We're gonna go on and gonna heal up, gonna make sure that everyone is topped off and ready to go. And we are going to kick Lucifer's ass. It's been 18 episodes. 18 episodes of going through this hellish labyrinth of 6 dungeons. But we are finally here. We are finally at the destination. The big battle that everyone's been waiting for. What could possibly go wrong? We got some of the best demons in the game. Nakajima got a kick-ass sword that hits twice, does a lot of damage. Yumiko even has a really good sword, though frankly she's not going to be using it much in this battle. It helps out a lot for random encounters and stuff. And yeah, just use all your items, you know? Just use all your consumables, it's fine. It's the end of the game. You don't gotta be a hoarder anymore. Just use all that shit. Fuck it. Got 173 magnetite? Who gives a shit? We're only taking one more step, and that step is into the lair of Lucifer himself. And there's the big man himself. It took me 8 months to get here, jackass, but I did it. So yeah, you're gonna need the White Dragon Orb. I mean, technically you can come all the way here and fight Lucifer without the White Dragon Orb, but as you may have just noticed from that text box, Lucifer has Diarahan, and you need the White Dragon Orb to seal that spell away so that he can't use it. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to win this fight because he can just full heal whenever the fuck he wants. You literally, it is not possible to do enough damage before he decides to heal himself. You can't trick the game or anything like that. You really need to get the White Dragon Orb. But yeah, now that we have that, we're gonna cast Tetraja to, you know, protect ourselves. Lucifer hits really hard. Physical attack does a lot of damage and hits a lot of enemies. Also has access to some very powerful magic that will attack the whole party. And also can cast a spell that just instantly kills a party member if we don't have Tetraja up, which is very scary. So yeah, really the hardest enemy in the game right here. And, you know, appropriate given the fact that it's the final boss and there's no optional bosses in this game. So yeah, I mean, the same rules apply as all the other bosses. You know the drill by now. It's just a matter of doing the thing, right? I believe you can sometimes freeze him with Bufudyne, and I kind of go for that a bit. Yeah, the Zeo spell really didn't really didn't do that much damage, so I don't really use that anymore. But as you can see, though, like, Nakajima is even only really doing, like, 30 damage, because Lucifer's stats are just really high, so he's not going to take a lot of damage, but he has a shit ton of health. Really powerful foe. So yeah, the real problem with this fight is that the only group heal spell in the game is Mediarama. And it only does so much to heal every member of the party. And the fact that Lucifer consistently spreads out his damage, and he does a lot of it, means that this fight honestly feels like a... Even compared to the rest of the fights in this game, which I think I've already used this phrase before, but this is really like a war of attrition. Like, you really are on a ticking timer here, where, yeah, as you can see, Lucifer's gonna be thinning out your party pretty hard. And you can only do so much to heal everyone. Like, either you can focus on one party member that's really hurting by using Diarahan, or you can just, like, very slowly heal everyone using Mediarama. But even then, it's rough, because Mediarama is not going to be able to heal everyone back to full after he attacks you. And yeah, while you don't technically need it, I guess, you should really have the Hino Kagetsuchi for this fight. I think it would be quite the feat to defeat him without using the Hino Kagetsuchi, just because it'd just be rough. Your damage output is just hindered so much by not having Nakajima, you know, equipped with that. And, you know, sometimes it can be a blessing in disguise to have your party members fall, because what you can do is you can go ahead and then summon them, and, well, you know, you gotta revive them with Rekarm or something, but you can go ahead and summon them back, and their health and MP is gonna be back to full, so that's gonna be useful. See, Barong's back to full there, hell yeah. But yeah, this fight goes on for a while. This is truly a test of endurance. Don't want to slip up here. Not a good idea. It is really nice, though, when you get those critical hits and you get close to, like, 100 damage on Lucifer. It's good shit. And yeah, fuck it. Just use your Sacred Bells. Like, you know, you're at the end of the game. Don't worry about using consumables. Until your main healer dies. That's kind of a problem. It's not great. Could have gone better. Oh well. I mean, we're close to the end of the fight, so, like, you really don't got anything to worry about. Just keep on keeping on, keep on attacking, and, you know, you're gonna be good. I think maybe before I thought that Nakajima was the one doing the 15 damage to Lucifer here, but I think actually that might have just been Odin. I got confused because they both attack twice, so I think my brain went into, like, lizard mode, and I just wasn't thinking right, but who knows. But yeah, just make sure that Nakajima stays alive, especially that, you know, Yumiko's down for the count now, so gotta make sure that Nakajima lives so that we don't gotta worry about falling, but, you know, yeah, not looking great for our party here. You know, we're down to just Huanglong and Nakajima, but I'm sure we'll be fine, so nothing to worry about. I mean, we have to be close to the end of the fight, right? Yeah, once again, just keep using jewels. Back to full HP. Pretty close to full HP with Huanglong, too. So, while it may look bad, I'm sure we can salvage it. And we raised the Spirit Barrier. Everything's good in the hood. Yeah, he has a lot of HP. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Oh. Well, that was disappointing. I guess the only fallen angels here are Yumiko and Nakajima.